Okay, boleh dengar tak sekarang? Can you hear me now?
Boleh, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, so
Cuma sekat-sekat.
sekat-sekat. Internet saya ke? Is it my internet? No, it's not my internet. Hello, boleh dengar? Is it clear now? Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Clear, clear.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's start now. Okay. Okay, so I've given you two mathematical exercise sebelum kita start lesson. I suspect mungkin kamu dah sempat buat. This should not take long lah. Soalan matematik je. Sekolah rendah punya ni sebenarnya. Okay, so there are two questions. The first one is a thumbtack weighs 1.73 grams. If a box of thumbtack weighs 121.10 grams, how many thumbtack is present in 3 boxes? Okay, untuk this one, first of all, the answer to this one is, if I'm mistaken, let me check again. The answer is 210 pieces. Okay, that will be the first one. And then for question 2, the answer is 1.67 times 10 negative 4 grams. Okay. Pastikan ada unit di belakang sebab kita tengah cakap pasal jisim. We're talking about the mass here, so we need to have the unit at the back. So now, sebelum saya discuss ni, ada tak yang tak dapat jawab? Is there anyone yang tak dapat jawapan ini? 210 pieces and 1.67 times 10 to the minus 4. Ada tak yang tak boleh jawab?
Sir, nombor 1 dapat.
Ya?
Nombor 2 saya yang dah dapat.
Okay, nombor 2 tak dapat. Okay, I'll discuss soalan nombor 2 sajalah. Nombor 1 very simple. Dia bagi tahu jisim 1 ni, jisim 1 thumbtack ni, jarum yang tekan tu, 1.73 gram. Okay, satu kotak 121. Jadi kita boleh kira daripada sini, kita boleh kira dalam satu kotak ada berapa. Ini bahagi ini, dapat bilangan dia. Kemudian dah dapat bilangan itu, kita darablah dengan 3 dapat yang ini. Okey, itu yang nombor 1, senang je. Nah, soalan 2, dia bagi tahu 2 sudu setengah, so 2.5 spoon of sugar weighs 14.72 grams. If a spoonful of sugar contains 35,200 grains of sugar crystal, what is the mass of each grain of sugar crystal? Okay, so for this question, there are two steps that you have to do. Okay, so first of all, 2.5 spoon is this. Now dia minta a spoonful, satu sudu je. Ada banyak ni. Berapa jisim? Each grain, satu butir tu. So what we have to do here is, first of all, kita nak tengok satu spoon berapa jisim dia. Okay, mass of 1 spoon full of sugar equals to, kita ada jisim untuk 2 sudu setengah. So mass of 2.5 spoon of sugar, and you divide it by mass, you divide it by number of spoonful of sugar. Okay, so mass ni kita ada, so the mass is 14.72 grams, and then bilangan sudu dia tu ada 2.5, so this is 2.5. Jadi untuk setiap satu, you divide it. Okay, so this is 14.72 divided by 2.5. You will get 5.89 grams per spoon. Okay. So maksudnya satu sudu jisim dia adalah 5.89 ataupun 5.888. Okay, this is I have bundar, I have rounded off. So 5.89. Now, so for 5.89, kita kekalkanlah 5.888888 grams per spoon. Okay, now kita juga tahu satu sudu ada sebanyak ini. So kita nak tengok jisim untuk satu grain berapa jisim dia. So mass of a grain of sugar crystal, this will be equals to mass of a spoonful of sugar divided by number of grains in a spoonful of sugar. Okay. Jadi kita nak tengok jisim. Okay. So the mass of a grain of sugar crystal is equals to jisim satu sudu. Kita bahagikan dalam satu sudu tu ada berapa grains, ada berapa butir. So this is 5.888 grams divided by 35,200. Okay. So 5.888 divided by 35,200. 5.888 divided by 35,200. You will get 1.67 times 10 to the minus 4 grams per grain. So dalam bracket. Dalam bracket itu, okay, so in the bracket here, tak perlu tulis lah. Unit dia adalah yang ini. So this will be the final answer. Okay. So, the trick here, bila kita deal dengan benda-benda kiraan matematik macam ni, ini adalah kiraan matematik yang bererti. It has some sort of significance. It has some sort of meaning. A mass, we have a unit. The amount, we have the unit here, which is 1 spoon. It is always best to keep track of the unit. Okay, so if you can see here, I write things down carefully. Okay, so I write it down carefully following the steps here. So I know what I am doing. Here, on the first step here, mass of 1 spoonful sugar is equals to mass of 2.5 spoon of sugar divided by number of spoonful of sugar too, which is 2.5 tu lah. Okay, so you will get the mass per spoon. Okay, atas per bawah. Atas per bawah. So you will get the unit like that. So this will be the answer. Now, kenapa saya tanya kamu? So why did I ask you these questions? Sebab this is the kind of questions that you have dealt with on your daily basis. Nak kira harga sebiji apple berapa dalam kat kedai dia jual. Satu bekas tu, satu net tu ada 6 biji. So kamu nak kira yang mana apple paling murah. You have to calculate it per apple kan. Kamu pergi dekat Giant, kamu tengok satu net ada 12 apple. Harga dia RM7. Satu lagi tu kamu tengok ada 30 apple, harga dia RM20. So you want to know which one is cheaper, so you can get a better deal. So you do that, this kind of calculation, you can do that. Okay. Now, this kind of calculation, we also do this in chemistry, except that mungkin dalam kimia, sebab it involves something yang very small. The number is very small. So you forgot what you are doing. Okay, you don't know what you are doing with it. And this is often the problem that students have when it comes to the chapter that we're going into today, which is more concept. Okay, so we're going on to more concept. Okay, so I won't be using untuk chapter ni sebab banyak kira-kira. So I won't be using PowerPoint. PowerPoint macam baca saja, so it's not helpful. So I'm using nota yang saya boleh conteng lah. Okay, so first of all, kalau kita tengok ni, contoh ni, a carton of apple always contains 32 apple. So let's say kita ada satu carton apple dan satu carton sentiasa ada 32 biji apple. Adakah lebih mudah untuk kita cakap 50 carton apple ataupun lagi mudah untuk kita cakap ada 1600 apple? Which one do you think is easier? The one on the left or the one on the right? Anyone want to answer this?
Yes.
The
Left.
left kan? Yes, the one on the left. Sebab kita guna carton ni. And kalau dalam bahasa Malaysia, carton ni satu carton, satu kotak, satu bekas, satu balang, sebatang, sebutir, seikat. Kita ada terma dalam bahasa Melayu. Kita panggil dia sebagai penjodoh bilangan, betul?
Betul.
Ingat lagi penjodoh bilangan kan?
Ya.
Okay.
Ya,
So
ya.
it's the same as in chemistry. To simplify calculation, we use the concept of mole. Mole itu sebenarnya macam penjodoh bilangan saja. Satu mole ada banyak mana, 2 mole ada banyak mana, 3 mole ada banyak mana. That is the purpose of mole. Okay? That is exactly the function of mole. It's just a penjodoh bilangan. Okay? Dan dia memudahkan kiraan, dia mengecilkan nombor. Maksud saya mengecilkan tu dia bagi tak banyak-banyak titik-titik perpuluhan lah. Okay? It makes things neater, lebih kemas. Okay, now that is the function of mole. So we are going into this today. Okay. Now what exactly is a mole? By definition, ini ada dalam PowerPoint yang saya bagi. So it is defined as amount of matter. Okay. Berapa banyak matter, berapa banyak jirim. Okay. So it is defined as amount of matter that contains equal number of particles as the number of atoms in exactly 12 grams of carbon-12 isotope. Panjang. Okay. It's quite difficult untuk remember this, but it's easy kalau kita break it down. So maksudnya di sini, 1 mole of matter, okay, they contain, bilangan atom dia mesti 6.02 darab 10 23 atoms. Dan ini dipanggil sebagai Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number or Avogadro's constant. Okay, 1 mole of matter. Okay, sorry. This is 1 mole of carbon. So 1 mole of carbon, 12. Okay, it contains 6.02 times 1023 atoms of carbon-12. And then it weighs 12.00 grams. Okay, so now this is the definition of mole in terms of what it is lah, apa yang I have already break it down. Okay. So by definition, kalau kita tengok balik, amount of matter that contains equal number of particle, okay, of atoms in exactly 12 grams. So 12 grams of carbon always contains 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 number of atoms. So let's say kalau saya cakap saya ada 1 mole of carbon, this is the mass kan. 1 mole of silicon. 1 mole of silicon will always contain the number of particle, which is 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23, okay, which is the number of particle in 12 grams of carbon. Okay, so this is just for carbon lah. Okay, therefore 1 mole of anything contains an Avogadro's number of particles. So kalau saya cakap saya ada 1 mole, if I say I have 1 mole of oxygen, then I would say that the 1 mole of oxygen contains 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 atoms if it was oxygen atom. If it was molecule, then it contains 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Okay, and the unit for mole, MOLE, is MOL. Okay. All right. Now, this is some example, the breakdown. Let's say I have 1 mole of iron, Fe. This means that it contains 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 iron atoms. If I said I have 1 mole of CO2, I have 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 carbon dioxide molecules, because as you know, CO2 is a molecule. Okay, this is a molecule. This is an atom. And then 1 mole of NaCl contains, sebab kita tahu NaCl, it contains Na plus and Cl minus kan. We know that it contains two of these. So it contains 6.02 times 10, 23 sodium ion, and it contains 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 Cl minus ions. Okay, so far. Does anyone have any question? Okay, tiada. So let's proceed. So now, how can we use the number of mole to count the number of particles? We can use a formula. So number of particles is equals to number of mole multiplied by Avogadro's number. Okay. Which is, kalau dalam bentuk simbol, simbol untuk mole adalah N multiply by Na. N, number of mole. Na is Avogadro's number. Right? So this is the first formula. If you want to calculate the number of particles, it is equals to N multiplied by Na. If I wanted to calculate the mass of substance, okay, mass of a substance, we can use number of mole multiplied by molar mass. Okay, which is equals to N multiplied by Mr. Okay, now molar mass ni adalah dalam bahasa Melayu ni adalah jisim molar. I'm sure JMR tu. I'm sure you know what that is. So molar mass, it is a mass of 1 mole of any substance. Okay, kalau contohnya kita tengok mass of molar mass of carbon 12, it is 12 gram. So maksudnya 1 mole of carbon sentiasa ada 12 gram. Kalau oxygen, the molar mass is 16. Jadi 1 mole of oxygen always contains 16 grams. If I say nitrogen, the molar mass of nitrogen is 14. Therefore, 1 mole of nitrogen always contains 14 grams of nitrogen. These are all the examples yang ada dekat dalam PowerPoint that you can have a look at later on. Okay, so I'm simplifying the teaching sebab saya nak fokus kepada calculation. So, and then another formula yang kita boleh gunakan yang melibatkan bilangan of mole ini, it is the volume occupied by gas at STP. Okay, sorry, volume occupied by gas. So kalau kita ada gas, kita boleh guna bilangan mole to find the number, to find the volume. Okay, so how can we do this? We use the number of mole, okay, multiplied by molar volume. Okay, molar volume Vm. So this is what we call as sorry, let me write it down first. Molar volume, okay, so N multiplied by Vm, okay. So what molar volume is, it is a volume occupied by 1 mole of any gas. So apa-apa gas dia akan sentiasa mengisi ruang yang sama banyak pada sesuatu situasi. The first one we have standard temperature and pressure, which is STP. Suhu dan tekanan PRY. Okay. So dia punya molar volume of gas at standard temperature and pressure STP is 22.4 decimeter cube per mole. Okay. So 22.4 decimeter cube per mole. And then room temperature and pressure pula, it is 24 decimeter cube per mole. Bermaksud, kalau saya ada 1 mole of any gas, so if I have 1 mole of any gas, it will occupy 22.4 decimeter cube. Kalau dekat STP. And any mole of any gas, it will occupy 24 decimeter cube at room temperature and pressure. So what is the standard temperature and pressure and what is room temperature and pressure? So standard pressure dia adalah 1 atm. So it is 1 atm, 1 atmospheric pressure. And then standard temperature is 273.15 Kelvin or 0 degrees Celsius. And room temperature is 298.15 Kelvin or 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. Before I go into the exercise, let me just, I'm just going to add a page. Okay. So now, how can we do this? Kalau kita tengok dekat sini semua kan, semua yang common, ketiga-tiga formula ini, number of particle, mass of substance dan volume, terma yang sama, the common term here is, I'm sure you have noticed by now, it is N. 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 So N is a common term in all three formula, which means you can convert number of particle to volume for gas. If you have volume of gas, you can change to mass there, you can change the number of particles. So whatever it is, you always change to the number of moles. So always number of mole. Okay, so we can use number of particles. Okay, we can change to number of mole. Okay, by using the first formula tadi lah. And then we can have mass of substance. We can change the number of mole. And then we have volume of gas. We can change it to number of mole juga. So ketiga-tiganya, all three can change to the number of mole first. Okay. Number of particle, how we can do this is that kalau kita ada number of particles, okay, kita divide by Avogadro's number. Kita akan dapat. Okay. So number of particle divided by Avogadro's number. Okay. Kita akan dapat number of mole. Mass of substance, kalau kita divide by molar mass, MR, kita akan dapat number of mole. Volume of gas, kalau kita divide by molar volume, kita akan dapat, ataupun dia punya ni, VM, kita akan dapat number of mole. Okay, so senang saja. So we can interchange between all this. Okay. untuk dapatkan number of mole. Jadi, for any calculation, we always want to change the number of mole first because kalau kita tengok kan, number of particle nak pergi mass, kita kena tukar mole dulu baru boleh pergi mass. Nak tukar kepada volume, kena go through mole dulu baru pergi volume. Volume nak tukar mass, kena pergi through mole dulu baru boleh tukar mass. Nak pergi number of particle pun sama juga. You always have to go through the number of moles because it's easier. Okay? It's easier that way. Alright. So now, I would like you to try, okay, to determine the number of carbon atoms in 132 grams of diamonds. Okay. The molar mass of carbon is 12 grams per mole. I want you to try to answer this question right now. I give you 5 minutes. Okay. Do you need the formula?
Yes.
You need the formula. Okay. Screenshot kejap soalan ni. And I'll show you the formula. Okay, dah screenshot eh. Then here is the formula lah. Here. Okay. So I want you to try to do that now. Pukul 2.35 I want to discuss.
Sir,
Ya saya.
boleh tengok soalan tu balik ke sir?
Okay, boleh.
Thank you sir.
Dalam nota pun ada ni, dalam PowerPoint tu ada apa nama ni? Formula, you can also refer from that. It's the same thing. Okay, dapat jawab? Let's have a look at the answer. How we can calculate this. First of all, dia bagi tahu, so it tells you that the weight, the mass of the diamond is 132 grams. And as you know from chapter 1, diamond is an allotrope of carbon. It only contains carbon. Yes, Friendly? You raised your hand?
Dia rasa tertekan.
Okay, alright. Tertekan, stress kah? Okay, alright. Okay, so as you know, diamonds, it contains carbon only. It is only carbon. Okay, so in order for us to determine the number of carbon atoms, we have the mass. We have to change the number of mole first. So to change the number of mole of carbon atoms, okay, in diamonds is equals to, okay, mass of diamonds divide by MR of carbon. Jadi, mass of diamond here is 132 grams. Mass ni, dia punya simbol adalah ni M over MR. Okay. Ini adalah simbol untuk mass, M. Divide by 12. And you will get 132 divided by 12, you should get 11. Okay, 11 mole. And then we want to find the number of atoms. Okay, number of carbon atoms is equals to number of mole. Okay, so number of mole of carbon, saya letak C tu untuk menunjukkan the number of mole of carbon. Tak letak pun tak apa, letak N saja. Divide by Na. So this is number of particles equals to number of mole multiplied by Avogadro's number. So you should get 11 multiplied by 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23. This number right here is given dalam exam. It is given in the RAM table tu. You are also given with this one. Okay, so later today I will give you again the ini saya upload dalam GC. Okay, so for now you just have to memorize. Tapi tak hafal pun tak apa sebenarnya. But it's better to hafal lah. 6.02 times 1023. 10 to the 23. So from here you will get 6.62 times 10 to the power of 24 carbon atoms. Okay. Kalau tak letak ini, saya letak dalam bracket ni menunjukkan tak tulis pun tak apa tau. Kalau kamu tulis 6.62 times 10, 24 like this, that is fine. So saya letaklah atoms, saya letak atoms je lah. Okay, let's go. Itu adalah unit dia. So this would be the answer untuk soalan 1. Ada anyone yang confused tak? Is anyone confused with this question? Or do you have any question?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so this is straightforward then. So we go to something slightly more difficult. Now, I want you to try to answer this question pula. So a tank is filled with 2500 ataupun 2500 grams of oxygen gas or O2 gas. Determine the number of mole of O2 molecules and then determine the number of mole of O atoms. So I want you to try to answer this now. Again, I give you 5 minutes. At 2:45, I will give you the answer. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes now. So let's have a look at the answer for this one. So the mass of oxygen gas is 2,500. Okay, you have to find the number of mole. I forgot to, the molar mass is grams per mole. Just in case nanti yang tak tahu, kena pakai molar mass, grams per mole. You can check this from the table of relative molecular mass tu, relative atomic mass. This is untuk oxygen O. Okay, oxygen 16 grams per mole for one atom, molar mass of oxygen. Now, you want to find the number of mole of O2 molecules. So, first of all, molar mass MR of O2 is 16 times by 2. Kenapa kena darab 2? Sebab mass untuk satu oxygen atom, molar mass untuk O sahaja adalah 16. This is O2, ada 2. So it is 32 grams per mole. So now you want to find the number of mole. So number of mole N is equals to M over MR, mass over molar mass. So this is equals to 2500 divided by 32. And you will get 78.13 mole. Okay. Now, untuk nombor 2 pula, you want to find the number of mole of oxygen atom. Okay, this is atom. This is O2 molecules. Satu molekul ada 2 oxygen atom. Satu molekul ada 2 oxygen atom. Satu mole of molecule O2 ada 2 mole oxygen atom. Therefore, to find the number of mole of oxygen atom is equals to number of mole of O2. Okay, so number of mole of oxygen atom sama dengan number of mole of O2 darab 2, which is equals to 78.13 times by 2, and you should get 78.13 times 2, you should get 156.26 mole. Okay, so this is the calculation. Jelas tak?
Sir, can you repeat
Can I repeat which part?
the second
Second one.
yeah.
Ini, kenapa darab 2? Okay.
Yeah.
So kita tahu kalau kita tahu O2 tu macam ni kan. O2 ni okay, sama dengan 2 darab oksigen. This is oksigen okay. 2 kali oksigen. Sebab O2 ni ada 2 oksigen atom. So satu molekul ada 2 oksigen atom. Jadi ingat, penjodoh bilangan kan, mol tu macam penjodoh bilangan. So kalau saya cakap pasal bilangan molekul dia, satu molekul ada 2 atom. Kalau saya ada satu ikat, dia ada 2 ikat. Kalau saya ada 1 mol, dia ada 2 mol. Nisbah dia 1 kepada 2. Okay. So here, number of mole of oxygen atom is equals to number of mole of oxygen molecule, which is the one that we have calculated in 1. You have to multiply by 2 because 2 atoms per molecule. Okay, so kita ada 2 atom per molecule. Okay. So this is the number of mole. This is the number of mole multiplied by 2 and you will get the answer.
Okay, sir, I understand.
Okay, Felicity, good question. Mesti ada 2 tempat perpuluhan kah? Okay. Lagi banyak lagi bagus. Minimum 2 tempat perpuluhan. Okay. Tapi dia kena tengok juga situasi tau. Kita selalu, kamu pernah dengar kan perkataan angka bererti, terma angka bererti. Pernah dengar kan kat sekolah matematik? Significant figure. Okay. We want to have at least 2 significant figures. At least 2 significant figures. So dekat sini ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures. Ada 5 angka bererti. Tak ada masalah. Lagi banyak, lagi bagus. Okay. But minimum 2. Okay. Minimum 2 angka bererti. Tapi kalau macam yang ini, atas perpuluhan ni, kita ambil semualah. Perpuluhan ni kita ambil 2 sekurang-kurangnya. So this here, I have 2 lah. This is fine. Selalunya kalau saya kira, kalau bila saya rajin. No. Selalunya bila saya rajin, saya letak 4. The best one is 4 titik perpuluhan. That will be the most accurate lah. Okay, untuk calculation. Okay. The next
So,
question.
bukan nombor 2 tu.
Nombor 2. Aha. Kenapa Nazwa?
Bukan sepatutnya bahagi ke?
Tidak. Kena darab. Sebab satu molekul ada 2. Kalau macam, sebab okay, dia sekarang macam ni tau. Konsep dia macam ni. Let's say saya, okay, satu pasang kasut. Ada berapa kasut?
2.
Nazwa? 2. Kalau saya ada 10 pasang kasut, ada berapa kasut?
20.
20, betul. Macam mana kamu tukar 10 pasang kasut jadi 20? Kamu darab ke kamu bahagi?
Darab.
Darab. It's the same juga macam ni. Sebab dia datang bersama tau. O2 tu oksigen molekul tu dia ada 2 macam ni. So satu molekul ada 2. 1, 2. Jadi 1 mol ada 2. So kita kena darab lah. Jelas tak?
Ya, jelas lah.
Nazwa jelas tak? Jelas. Okay, good. Now,
Yes.
we proceed to the next part of the question. Okay, B. The volume occupied by half of the tank if the gas is in A, standard temperature and pressure, B, room temperature and pressure. So, try to answer this now. Again, I give you another 5 minutes untuk try soalan ini. Saya tulis kat tepi. STP sama dengan 22.4 TM cube per mole. RTP pula 24 TM cube per mole. Okay. So try to answer this now. And just remember, baca betul-betul soalan dia. So saya zoom out, boleh nampak tak? Boleh baca?
Boleh.
Okay, alright. Oh. Laudiah. Kamu tanya kalau bahagi tapi jawapan sama. Salah tu. Yang mana soalan mana ni? Laudiah? Oh Laudiah. Laudiah di manakah anda? Kamu tanya soalan yang mana ni? Soalan yang tadi ke? Saya berperasan message.
Roman 2.
Oh, drama 2. Yang nombor dua tadi tu. Oh, tak boleh. Kalau kamu bahagi 2, dapat jawapan sama, salah juga tu. Jalan kerja salah. Dia kena darab. Macam mana kamu boleh dapat jawapan yang sama kalau bahagi 2? 78 bahagi 2 dapat 20 lebih lah, 29. Oh, okey. Dan soalan tadi, 2500 bahagi 16. Boleh? Betul juga tu. Dapat jawapan yang betul tu. Cara tu betul juga. Sama saja. You get the right answer. So that is an alternative punya cara. Okay, dah siap dah? Settle sudah? Ada tak yang tengah buat lagi? Yang tengah jawab lagi? Anyone yang masih
Siap
jawab?
sudah.
Siap sudah. Okay. Alright. So now let's have a look at the okay. So now let's have a look at the way how we can calculate this. Dia bagi tahu, okay, dia tanya, you have to determine the volume occupied by half of the tank. Separuh half of the tank. If the gas is in standard temperature and pressure. So first of all, separuh tank bahagi dua dulu lah. Okay, so untuk A, okay, so half tank equals to 2500 bagi 2, you get 1250 grams. Okay, so now you want to find the standard temperature and pressure volume there. So number of mole of O2, okay, kita kena guna O2 tau, sebab volume of gas dia punya molekul dia. Gas ini dalam bentuk molekul. Nampak ni, O2 molecules. Okay, number of mole of O2 is equals to equals to M of O2 divided by MR, sama dengan 1250 divided by MR dia adalah 32, sebab tadi kita dah darab 2 tu kan. Ini adalah MR of O2. So, divide by 32. So, 1250 divided by 32, you should get 39.06 mole. And now, bila dah dapat number of mole,
Sir,
kita nak tengok. Ya, saya.
kalau saya kasih bundar 39.1.
39.1. Okay, saya tak galakkan kamu bundar. It's not recommended untuk kamu. Hello. Okay. So it's not recommended untuk kamu bundarkan terlampau banyak waktu awal-awal. You want to round it up, round it off at the end of the calculation. Jadi
Okay,
jangan bundarkan awal sangat. So di sini kita bundarkan yang paling ujung sajalah, ambil 2. Ambil 2 significant ambil 2 apa namanya? Ambil 2 titik perpuluhan.
okay.
Kalau kamu bundarkan 1, nanti dia akan dapat apa namanya? Dia akan jadi jawapan final dia akan lari jauh nanti. Okay. So now we have the number of mole. We want to find. Yes, saya.
Kalau ambil semua tu perpuluhan, saling
Ambil
dah
berapa?
balik semua.
Ambil berapa perpuluhan?
Ambil 4 terus.
Oh, ambil 4 terus. Boleh? Kita ambil 4 terus lah supaya senang supaya senang nampak dia punya ni. So 0625 mole. Okay. Now, kita dah dapat number of mole. Kita nak cari volume dekat STP. So, volume at STP, volume of O2 is equals to N of O2 multiplied by molar volume. Okay. So, from here, number of mole, we already have 39.0625 multiplied by 22.5. And you should get the final answer as, 22.4. You should get the volume as 875. Now, this one has the unit of decimeter cube. Okay. Decimeter cube ni juga sama dengan liter tau. Unit dia sama dengan liter. Okay. So now let's have a look at the next question, B pula. So let me just. Okay. Untuk B pula. We already have the number of mole. We want to find the volume dekat RTP. So, volume of O2 sama dengan N of O2 multiplied by molar volume. However, this is at RTP, so 39.0625 multiplied by molar volume, which is 24 decimeter cube. 24, and you should get 937.5 decimeter cube. Or we can also write it down as 937.5 liter. This is the final answer. Ada tak sesiapa yang tak dapat? Anyone having problem with this question? Adakah?
No.
Tiada. Okay. Now let's proceed. More question. Okay. So untuk soalan ni, what I want you to do is I want you to try to answer it. I want you to try to answer it. Kejap lagi nanti saya bagi jawapan. So we end the session here. I want you to do this as your homework. Okay. So this will be your homework for today. Saya akan bagi jawapan kejap lagi. And then if you have any problems with these questions, then we'll discuss tomorrow morning. So I want you to salin the soalan now before I end the lesson lah. So salin the question, and then I will also give this later on, but it's easy untuk kamu copy je terus. Copy sekarang, takut nanti kamu lupa. So salin dulu soalan dia. Ya, memang jawapan kamu lain nanti Felicity. Sebab kamu, kalau kamu kena 39.06, soalan tadi kan? 39.06 tahap 2024. Kamu dapat 874.9. Kalau bunda kan dapat 875 juga. So dia tak jauh, dia dekat. So betul juga tu. Sebab dalam final exam, jawapan kamu tak perlu 100% exactly the same tau. Dia punya significant figure dia yang kena sama. Bergantung pada soalan tu, dia ada berapa significant figure dia. And jalan kerja pun penting tulis kemas-kemas macam contoh yang saya tunjuk tu. Dan dalam exam, sentiasa make it a habit untuk tulis formula dahulu. Sebab sometimes dalam exam, formula tu ada markah. Okay. Sudah salin soalan?
Sudah, sir.
Sudah sir.
Dah, okay. Alright. So that's all for today. So do this, answer these questions now. You can still ask me questions sekarang kat Telegram. I'm just ending the lesson now. Kalau ada problem, we can also discuss tomorrow morning before we proceed with more exercises lah. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you for paying attention.